This tutorial is to help with Lesson 8B, homework question number 10. The first part is to read our problem here. Philippe is flying to Salt Lake City to visit his grandmother. He will arrive at night and rent a car to drive 26.5 miles to his grandmother's house. He will spend 3 days with his grandmother and then drive 26.5 miles back to the airport to fly home. Philippe has budgeted $235 for his car rental. Step number 1, understand the problem. Philippe and his grandmother want to visit a different destination each day from the list below. He needs to decide which destinations they can visit and still keep the total car rental cost inside his $235 car rental budget. We have our list of destinations here: Park City Outlet Mall and Olympic Park, Grandeur Peak, Temple Square, Hogle Zoo, and Lavelle Edwards Stadium, with their corresponding miles and round-trip miles to and from Grandma's house. Step number 2. The car rental fee for the vehicle Philippe wants is 39.13 cents per day. Also, there is a mileage fee of 45 cents per mile. He has researched on the internet about the car and the area. He assumes a rental car gets about 32 miles per gallon and gas costs about $2.88 a gallon. Step number 3. Create a linear function that uses the number of miles driven as the input and provides the total car rental cost, including gas, for Philippe's entire trip as the output. To find the slope of the linear function, compute the cost per mile by adding the mileage fee and cost of gas per mile. Hint: to find the cost of gas per mile, divide the cost per gallon by the miles per gallon. The gallons unit cancel, leaving the units dollar per mile. And that's what we'll do first. The first thing I want to do is do right here to find the slope, what they're calling slope for this, which is our variable depending on how many miles he drives will be our cost. So the first thing they're talking about is doing a unit conversion, and I've brought it up here. You can take their tip, or you can just remember this end point. It's looking for dollars per mile, and that's kind of how I always set up my unit conversions. I go to the end and I say I am looking for a final answer of dollars over miles, and that tells me how I start the beginning of the problem, so that gives me a roadmap to what needs to go where. Because I want the dollar unit to be on the top, I'm going to start by putting my dollar unit on the top. So we were given $2.88 a gallon. So I'm going to start with my $2.88 on the top per 1 gallon on the bottom. Then I multiply this by conversion factor, and I go to the next one, which was 32 miles per gallon. So that's the unit conversion. I have 32 miles for every 1 gallon. Because I want miles on the bottom, since I already set up my roadmap, I'm going to start by putting my 32 miles down here per gallon here, so that the gallons, you'll see I have one on top and one on bottom, and that tells me that these both cancel out, and that leaves me with units of dollars on top and miles on bottom. So I have $2.88 over times 1, I could say this is 1, and 1 times 32, which gives me 32. And I have the units dollars per mile, which is exactly what I wanted. And I can use Excel to calculate that for me. $2.88 divided by 32 miles gives me part of my cost per mile. So I'll put it here for now. We'll do equals $2.88 divided by 32 miles gives me 9 cents per mile in cost of gas. Now don't forget, I also have a per mile rental fee here. So the total cost per mile will be the 9 cents and the 45 cents. So we're going to add those together, 45 cents plus the 9 cents. There we go. So this is my cost for every mile I drive with the gas and the rental company of 54 cents. And I can put this here, 0.54. You'll notice I have a spreadsheet kind of set up over here to organize my thoughts. You're more than welcome to also do this, but you don't have to, but it certainly helps keep it all straight. The next part is to find out the other cost for renting the car, because there's a flat fee of $39.13 per day, and we know he will be there for 3 days. That helps us figure out this cost right here. So I have $39.16 per day, times it by 3 days, and that gives me, oops, that tells me I am too small to know the, there we go. I just need to make my column a little bigger. That means it's $117.48 every day, or for this entire trip, to rent this car. So this is going to be the total flat fee of $117.48. All right, so now let's move on to step number 2 here in the applying quantitative tools. Use your function above to determine how many total miles Philippe can drive and still stay within his $235 budget. So we're going to substitute f of x for 235 and then solve for miles driven. Again, I've set us up over here in my Word document, and we're going to substitute in here. We have 54 cents per mile driven, and since I don't know miles driven, I'm going to substitute this with x, and then I add the total, which was $117.48. Now I also know over here that I'm looking to find when it equals $235, and since I'm going to just be working with dollars here, I'm going to get rid of it in every thing, because dollars, dollars, and dollars, there's no unit that needs to be converted, it's all in dollars. So I'm just going to take that off so that I have fewer symbols here to work with and to hopefully not confuse anyone. So then I'm going to copy this and paste it here just so that I have something to show my next step. Now to solve for x, I'm going to subtract 117.48 from both sides, minus 117.48 minus 117.48. On the right hand side, that shows that this cancels out entirely because it ends up being 0. On the left-hand side, I can use Excel or a calculator, and in doing so, I will get, I'm going to copy this down for my next step. Since that's all that's left on the right-hand side, and doing 235 minus 117, let's come down here and just put it in. We'll just do it here. 235 minus the 117.48 gives me 117.52. So we'll come back in here. 117.52 is my answer after this. Now to continue solving for x, I need to divide both sides by 0.54. So I'm going to, how will I show that? I want all of this side, so we'll do quantity. This entire side divided by 0.54, and the left side also divided by 0.54, and then on this side the 0.54 divided by 0.54 gives me 1. 1 times x is x, or you can say that it's canceled out, which is what I prefer. And then on the left hand side we can go do that in Excel. The 0.54 is gone, so x equals 117.52 divided by 0.54. So I'll come in here and just do some calculations really quick. Divided by 0.54, which gives me $217.63. And we can put that in here. 217.63. And that's my total number of miles. Remember, x was miles. from this formula right here. So this is the total number possible that he can drive to stay within his budget. And it asks us to round this to the nearest whole mile. So this rounds up to 218. So we'll keep that 218 and move on to the next one. We could get rid of this just in case. I'm going to keep that just in case we need to reference that at any point. Oh, except that this isn't dollars and it's keeping the dollar sign, so let's get rid of it. This is, we'll just do that. This is the total number of miles. Sorry, that's getting kind of stuck in there. This is our total number of miles possible to stay within his budget. Okay, the next part. Find the total number of miles Philippe would drive, including to and from the airport, if they visited LaVelle Edwards Stadium on the first day, Park City Outlet Mall and Olympic Park on the second day, and Grandeur Peak on the third day. You'll notice over here I have this all copied in, and I'll show you how I did that. If you want to create your own spreadsheet, I just copied this, Control C to copy, and came over here and did Control V to paste. And that helped, and then again I copied this over and pasted it here, and you'll see I also have part 4 in here for down here, and again I just copied and pasted that in so that I could have it all in one place. So over here we have LaVelle Edwards Stadium, Park City, and Grandeur Peak, and also to and from the airport. So I've gone through and just written some of this down really quickly so that we can see all of the miles and round trip, because we will be going to and from Grandma's house. And just so that I could cell reference, I typed it off to the side over here. And then I also added down here the airport so that I didn't forget, because he needs to get to and from the airport. Then over here, I've just cell referenced for each of these locations, and we'll do this in step 4. In this one, we just went to LaVelle Edwards Stadium, Park City, and Grandeur Peak, and don't forget the airport, to and from for the round trip. And you'll notice that I multiplied by 2 for the 53. If you wanted to do that over here somewhere, you're more than welcome to cell reference and times by 2 so that you know that that's 53 to and from. All right, now to find the total miles, I can type in the sum formula. You can also do the auto sum up here, either way, so that it calculates the total miles. And then it's asking for the nearest whole dollar, so we want the total cost on this as well. So we have our formula up here of 54 cents times the miles and add 117. Since I have those over here in my spreadsheet, I'm going to go ahead and cell reference those to find the total cost. I'm going to need to make this a little bigger. So the total cost here equals the cost per mile, 54 cents, times the miles total, and then add the flat cost of 117.48. This tells me that if that's what he chose to do with his grandmother, it is $269.76. And this is asking for, find the total number of miles. Whoops, I didn't type that in yet. So this was a total of 282 miles. The total cost, using our function up here, is $269.76, rounding to the nearest whole dollar. Sorry about that. We'll do $270. All right, will this trip fit into Philippe's rental car budget? His budget was $235. If you'll recall here, $235, so no, this one won't fit. So in step number 4, we're given 6 different options that we're going to find that might fit within his budget and limitations. Over here, I have set us up with all of the destinations from these options. Again, I just copied this and pasted it over here. And then I cell referenced, which will make this much easier considering we have 6 different options with 3 different locations plus the airport on all of those. And I thought it would be nice just to hurry and do it all in one go. So I've filled in most of it. I didn't do down here so that you could see what I did. All I've done is do equal and cell reference each of these destinations. The first one's Park City. For the option number 6. The second day will be Temple Square, so I'll come find it up here, cell reference. And then day 3, again, LaVell Edwards Stadium, we will cell reference here. And then I want to find the total number of miles. Because I already did this for part 3, and this sum is adding everything to the left of this, I could just click and drag to find the total number of miles. Then I need to compare this to the total number of miles that he can drive and still stay within his $235 budget, which we found in step 3 of being 218 miles. Over here, I have several options that stay within that. Looks like these 3 are the only options that fit. I could also talk or find the total cost for each of these as well. To do so, I would need to make sure that I absolute cell reference the 54 cents per mile by doing function F4, and also making sure that I keep the 117 as an absolute cell reference as well. This way I could then just see which one stays within his $235 budget as well, and that shows that these 3 also are the only ones, which confirms that these are the 3 options that I can choose. So over here I can choose options, just going to, there we go, options 3, 4, or 5. To come down here, any of those will work, so we'll type in, what's our favorite? We'll do option 3. Next, evaluate your reasoning. Use your function to verify that the trip you selected fits within Philippe's car rental budget. Oh, we already did that. We're here. Just got ahead of ourselves. And so yes, it does stay within his car rental budget. And we can go up and verify, how did I do? Just for confirmation, it looks like we did something off. Did I round that wrong? It looks like I did a small typo of 13 cents, and here I did 16. So we're going to type in the 3. That should fix this. And that is 117 and 39 cents. Just verifying so that I can get it all right. Lucky for us, that was a small error. It didn't set any of these off. All right, good luck on number 10. It's kind of a big problem. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.